Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. For those of you that are on TikTok, welcome to Shortcuts for Your Soul. Today I have with me the energy of Archangel Michael, who wanted to discuss the subject of, he's called it the plundering of the trust of the innocent. The plundering of the trust of the innocent. And I don't think there's a word to describe the energy that I'm receiving from him in terms of the closest human emotion I can get to is disdain for the way in which humans are treating one another, not humans in general, but a very specific group of humans that are recognized as taking advantage of the love and the innocence of who he calls God's children. That God's children come into this earth in complete trust. And Michael was saying that there are these ones that you might know of as the fallen ones or the dark ones, or what you call in your terms the devil. It is not singular, it is plural, this thing that you would call the devil. And again, I'm trying to, because it's a new emotion that I'm feeling from Michael. Usually his energy is extremely high, and it is very high right now. It's just, I if you can understand, if God could weep, I guess this is the closest to it. If God could be disappointed, angry, and hurt, then this is the closest approximation to it that I can get as in a human form to that. But he says that the hosts of heaven are standing by now. It's not a matter of if there's going to be a war of good and evil. It is already well in progress. And I asked him about, what do you mean the plundering of the trust of the innocent? He said, those that are in positions of authority are likened to God. They were placed in positions of authority and given the opportunity to carry out God's will, which is a function of love and compassion and guidance and leadership that elevates, inspires, and assists others to reach their fullest expression of their divinity. That is not happening. These ones that have been appointed are what you call descendants of long family lines, both social and political, that have taken advantage of their authorities, taken advantage of the trust of those. He says it's very diabolical what is going on, and that the trust of God's children cannot be broken, but they can be harmed. The children can be harmed, but their trust in their loving God cannot be broken, no matter what is going to be done in the coming years. This can still be averted. He says this can still be averted if you understand in whom you place your trust. There are those that are here to serve God and those that are here to serve man. You must know the difference between the two. For there are those that can serve men and still be of God and serve God's will in support of man. And there are those that are here to serve themselves, deny God, and take advantage of others. Again, I'm trying to articulate these emotions because it's like, he's saying you've been put in a position where you believe you have to trust anyone in a position of authority. And there's only one in authority whom you should trust. And he is within you right now. He tells you what is true and what is false, what is right and what is wrong. Do not listen to the words and the proclamations of men before you listen to the word and the proclamation of the divine within you that knows what is true and knows what isn't false. And do not comply with the lies and deception, even though they are presented to you as the truth. Do not get lost in the presentation of lies and deceptions, even though they be presented as the truth. This is very important, for there are many leaders in your world right now that are taking great advantage of your trust and your tolerance and your kindness and your willingness to do good and righteousness. You must use greater discernment in the coming years, for if you continue to surrender to the fears and uncertainties presented to you as valid realities, then sure you will increase your suffering, whereas God will never increase your suffering. Do not believe that. You were not born in what many humans that have been in positions of authority have called sin. You were born in and of love, and your ability to learn to live from that function gives your life the purpose and meaning that's necessary in order to be here. Please understand, you must learn to distinguish between righteousness and wrongfulness, truth and falsity. This is the most important and critical time in your lives at this moment. That those in positions of authority, let them speak only the truth, or do not give them your ears. Do not give them your support, those that would perpetuate you into suffering and greater fear, for they will seek to do this as they know very well that their rule is about to come to a very abrupt and demeaning end, not demeaning by our hand, but demeaning by their own. And should you pull the trust from those who do not deserve it away from them, they shall falter and fall and blow away as the dust in the wind. And your suffering will no longer be. But you must discern those who you've given your love and trust to, as you have given your love and trust to the life that beats your heart right now, whether you know it or not. That trust was given and remains eternally. You know, he is beating your heart right now. He is beating your heart right now, the one to listen to, the one to hear, the one who will tell you the truth and never be deceptive with you. You were not born to suffer. You were born to live, to thrive, to create, to do good, to do righteousness, to do well unto each other, to do well unto each other. And those dark ones that you find governing your world have become so emboldened, not by their own plans and connivances, but by your very trust that you have given to them repeatedly. They are emboldened by your trust and your surrender to their wrongfulness. They are plundering not only your trust, but your life and your efforts. They cause you to suffer needlessly, telling you you need to suffer. And they provide you with the very furnishings that would cause you to suffer. Their laws and their rules outside of the laws of God. They provide these rules that enslave you to suffering and then tell you that suffering is what you are born into when they have provided the very framework for your suffering for many thousands of years. The conflict between good and evil is one of clarity and understanding of purpose, that the actions and words and deeds that you perform come from a place of love, but also that they do not support deception, that they do not support wrongfulness, that they do not support the debauchery and the treachery that is becoming all too common around this world, and you can see in the throngs of individuals plundering your stores openly that they have become as the leaders that plunder your pockets and your efforts more boldly every day, simply believing they can take what is yours as if it was their own and do with it as they please. And the consequences of their actions will be their own, although you, in the process of this, have been led to suffer by the offering of your trust in their wrongfulness, in their policies, in their ideas that do not serve the well being of man, woman, nor child, but simply serve to ingratiate those that make these rules and laws with the seductions of their own desires at your expense. And I speak here on behalf of the hosts that are gathering here in great numbers, preparing for those of you that are ready to turn your back on darkness, to turn your hearts, your minds, and your souls to the light and function of love and its expression, to place your trust in goodness and righteousness, not to place your trust in greed, in wrongfulness, in harm, in war. This is where you can see very obviously where the darkness thrives most, where you see deception and the greed and the lusts, the unnecessary extravagances that bear no relation to improving your condition, your health, nor your happiness, all of which you are blamed for as being at fault for your poor health, your struggling systems of social order and chaos. And you are being blamed for them. You are even being blamed for the changing of this planet, the conditions of this planet, which are simply responsive and reactive to the overall activities perpetuated by the acts of those in positions of authority. I cannot say that heaven or God or the angels or any of us are angry, because that is something that just does not function. Are we very clear and assertive about what it is that is necessary at this time? Absolutely. There's a clarity of what is to unfold that is not going to be based in the same functions of suffering and conflict, the machinations of war that you see being used as toys to humor those that enjoy watching others suffer. Our war, if we can use that term, will be one of energy that will not be assailable by the machinations of men, no matter what technologies they may think that they have. They cannot, in any way, shape, or form, escape the inevitability of something greater than themselves. And so be mindful in these coming days in whom you shall place your trust and whom you shall give your support. For you will reap what you sow, as you are reaping what you sow for those that you have trusted in positions of great political authority around this world have simply stolen your trust, eaten it up like vultures falling upon a dying carcass. They've seen you as nothing more than fodder for their own gratifications. And yet you are not any of those things that they would think that you are, although your placing of trust in them has emboldened them to believe that it is, that you would want your suffering because you have agreed to it. You've agreed to give over what little wealth you have to they, that set the laws and rules that incline you to trust them, to give over your wealth, to give over your children, to give over your minds, to give over your hearts, to give over your actions. And these are all but a few scant individuals, highly coordinated and organized in the ways of the machinations of this world and the sciences of this world. But these things cannot compare with the armaments of heaven, nor those hosts of those that are in support of that function of love, that energy that is coming into this planet that you call ascension, that affords each and every individual the opportunity to liberate themselves from suffering by their own hearts, their own minds, their own hands, and not to simply call forth the leaders to end the suffering. You must pull your trust away from those that do not demonstrate. Can you not see it? We are telling you in so many ways. We have even ensured that there were forms of media communication that would ensure that you received the information of the truth one way or another, for they would not have you know the truth of their diabolical plans and activities. They would seek to give you names and labels to those that would speak the truth. Conspiracy theorists, crazy individuals, they say. Know this, that their time is short, and you can shorten it even more if you understand in whom to place your trust. There are men of God on this earth right now. Seek them out and find them. They are in the flesh. The one that you have been praying for has arrived. It is not soon, it is here, it is now. And these, again, because of your confusion perpetuated by these so-called social leaders, we use the term man to include the general state of humanity, both male, female, children, and youth. So please understand that there is no confusion as far as we're concerned about whether you are male or female. The confusion has been perpetuated upon you because confusion is the most powerful mechanism they have for keeping you in fear, in keeping you ignorant, in keeping you uncertain, while they rob you blindly of your vitality, of your love, of your children, of your familial closeness, the system of the family, the most vibrant and vital core of divinity, male and female. There's no confusion about that in the truth. But confusion sown into the minds of those you would wish to control certainly works quite well. You can see that you would simply spill your pockets into their coffers and then be glad to suffer even more because they tell you it is what you have to do. You must awaken, learn to listen to your inner heart, your knowing that says that is wrong. And why do you think those that plunder the stores go fleeing out the doors? Because they know it is wrong. Thou shalt not steal. And yet, if the very leaders that are supposed to be governing you in alignment with love were doing so, you would not see such things. But because they do so openly, so too the citizenry of this earth are now simply following the leader. Or as you say, monkey see, monkey do. And many of you can see the evil that is being perpetuated, the wrongdoing occurring on a day-to-day basis, the wastefulness of your time and your energy and of your lives to prop up the illusion of a few. Awaken yourselves. The angels, the hosts of heaven, are here. And there are many of those of God in the flesh. And you will know them because you will not feel deceived. You will not feel mocked. You will not feel blamed. You will not be given a sentence of guilt for your actions of righteousness, that you should want to feed your family before you put the money in their pockets, and that you should feel bad for wanting to do that. You will know the truth of those who are of God and those who are not. And you do. I am honored that there are vehicles through which we can still communicate and be unobstructed in what we would have to say to those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. For there are mechanisms that would seek to keep your eyes closed and your mouths sealed and your ears plugged with nonsense and gibberish that simply confuses you. But the war is underway, such as it is, not in the fashion you understand it of guns and weapons and your technologies, but it is a war of love, of clarity, of truth, of wisdom, of knowledge that requires that you embrace these things. You must embrace truth and love and honesty and integrity and compassion and kindness, and bestow that upon those who are worthy of receiving it. Do not simply give away your trust to those that are plundering your families and your efforts. They are quite emboldened now, simply playing now thousands, if not millions of lives all over the world for sport and game and their own aggrandizement. Surrender their fear and return yourself to the love that is in your body. Return to the love of the divine within you, which beats your heart at this moment with absolute certainty and no expectation or demand upon you other than to say this: live my laws and live my word. Live my laws and live my word, that of love. But do not pay heed to the darkness. Do not pay heed to those devils that have infiltrated your most sacred and intimate institutions, and the most sacred of institutions, your families, that they have weaseled their way through your pockets, into your homes, into your minds, through their so-called mechanisms of education. They would have you suffer. Turn away from them. Do not give them another dime, another moment. Turn their messages of fear and warmongering off. Turn your attention back to the love of your families and one another. Do not give them your consent that you should suffer because of their decrees, which you have been doing so gradually and more so in the passing years. And so you have simply indicated to them by your agreement to go along with things that you should suffer. In fact, that you agree to suffer, that it is okay to have your food poisoned, your water poisoned, and your air poisoned. It is okay. And that you support that by what you eat and what you drink and what you wear. It is time for you to awaken. It is now the time. Delay can be quite tragic in this physical world. It does not have much meaning outside of the confines of the structure of time and space. But in this world, delay is and can be very tragic, as much as it can be a blessing, depending upon the contextual nature of the situation and circumstance. But you, all of you, are contributing to your freedom or your suffering by every choice you make, by every time you defer what is righteous to fear. And they would have you suspend your intelligence for their decrees, their laws, their rules, because they would say that this is the truth. And you would deny the truth in your own heart. And would you deny the truth in your own heart again? There is an effect for all of these things. Do you understand? Seek out those that would speak to you of communion, of love, of goodness, of righteousness, of honor and respect, and compassion and kindness. The devil can be very tricky in its way of sending out its foot soldiers to manipulate you. But in your heart, if you truly listen to it, you will always know that the words being spoken are true or false, that the ideas to be considered are true or false. You can know these things, and many of you do. Many of you are fighting, but you are still seeking to get permission from these in authority that you do not have to surrender to their authority. You must simply stop participating in their machinations of artificial education. Stop participating in their manifestations of disease and needless suffering. The choice is exclusively yours. There is a definitive outcome for everyone. And in many of your scriptures and holy books, it has spoken of this thing. And it is coming again. But the way in which it arrives can be very different than it currently appears to be. Surrender your seductions, because you've been taught that you should have them. Surrender your fears because you've been taught that you should have them. Surrender your anger because you've been taught that you should have it. You must kick the unwelcome guests out of your houses and restore yourselves. Restore your families, restore your children, restore the truth. Or the plundering will continue. In fact, it will get worse as long as you continue. As long as you continue to agree to it, to abide by the dictates of these dark ones. And if you cannot see nor understand that these are dark ones, then you will have some difficulty in making the decision, or you will simply defer that process to them, as you have been doing so gradually more and more over recent decades. Just know that irrespective of what you do or do not, that there is a love that is within you. There is a light that is within you that will never and can never be taken away from you. Even in death, it cannot be taken away from you. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Good morning, everybody. A very somber Monday message. When he came in, again, there's no anger. I can't just, like I said, in human terms, I perceive it as I perceive it on the level that I'm at as anger, but it's not. That's just my interpretation of it. This is a level of clarity and understanding and knowing of the distinction between right and wrong. And the actions of people that know what is right and know what is wrong are very different than the actions of people who are doing what is right and what is wrong simply because they want to, without any regard for other people or the consequences of their actions. And that's, yes, they act, the angels and the angelic hierarchy, they operate from a moral center that understands the actions of righteousness are very specific. The words of righteousness are very specific, and the outcomes are very precise and exacting, as equally exacting as the outcomes of darkness, right? But with the darkness, you can see very clearly there's overt anger and manipulation and control. And anyway, I want to say thank you, Michael, for that. And I'm grateful that you chose today to do that. Let's get into some Q&A and see where we go. Any message from my grandmother, Elizabeth? I don't know why, but she's just showing me this picture of a garden sitting out in the back garden under the sunlight, looking out over sunflowers, sitting beside you and delighting in that. You're not a little girl anymore. You're not a little boy anymore. Yes. But there's this light around her. It's this beautiful yellow light that it's like sunlight, but it's like not just around her, but coming from within her. Just know that that light's with you. She wants you to know that that light she will keep that light of hers with you. Right. Wow. Thank you. Good morning, YouTube. Someone saying I'm going through on YouTube. Vazia is saying I'm going through hard emotion energy. Vazia, take a moment to feel that hard emotional energy. Doesn't matter what's causing it right now, because that's just emotional energy in movement. Remember, emotion is just energy in motion. And you want to change it from the energy that it's in to something that's going to help you to move forward. I'm being told to tell you this, like, feel that emotion, feel that, all of that emotion. Don't be afraid of it. It won't hurt you. Just be aware of it all. It's very intense. If it's intense, it doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It simply means that you've got a lot of energy. But turn your attention to that energy, that strong emotion, and simply communicate to this thought, to the emotion. Communicate this thought to those intense emotions. I am with you. I love you. I will not ignore you. Just communicate that to those emotions and observe how the energy changes when you communicate that intention to those emotions, because the energy of emotions is the substance we use to create. That's what emotions are. Emotions are energy to create conditions in our life. Susan, thank you so much about your son. He says he's not late. He's not late. He's with you. Yes. I'm hearing the words laying beside. I don't know what the comforter is. He's with the comforter, laying beside the comforter. I don't know what that means to you, but he's with the comforter, laying by the comforter. Again, I don't know what that means. I don't know if I tune in it's a consciousness that's with him, that's literally comforting him in this process he's in right now. He's helping him to be released of all his burdens. He misses you in the sense that you understand missing in the human terms, but in the terms that he's missing you in, it's more of a yearning, communicate to you the depth of his love. And again, putting a hand to your face, it's like if you just feel on the side of your face. He's literally putting a hand there right now. If you can just let yourself feel that, because they don't leave, they just change perceptual realms, right? Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate his energy. It's very, very exciting. Oh, you're welcome, Co-Creative TV. Someone's saying here on YouTube, my cat Chaz acting weird, excessive licking. Vet does not know, but can I see if it's food allergies? I'm being told to tell you it's the depth of you needing extreme comfort. It's the depth of you needing extreme comfort. You needing extreme comfort. I'm feeling the energy of the cat's higher self, and he's saying when you allow yourself, to be comforted, it won't be necessary. Allow yourself to be comforted by your furry friend. Allow yourself to be when he's licking. Allow yourself to be comforted by that. That's it's about comfort. You needing to be comforted. He's trying to offer you comfort. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself. Wow, I really like that. It's really cool, Tanya. Thank you. Anything from my mama? Again, I'm hearing a very loud, high-pitched. Oh yes, 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 yes. It's a very squeaky kind of voice. Like wanting to pull your cheeks and oh, like cherishing, like grabbing your face in their hands and like getting really close to you. Kisses, kisses, kisses all over the face. Yes. A lot of excitement. Very grateful you reached out. Yeah. You can feel the acceleration in the heart energy of your body right now. That's because you're feeling her energy, right? Just feel that energy. Just take it in. Take it in. Feel that energy. Make certain. Okay, we're good over there. So I just wanted to see. I gotta see on the other side of this. Okay. Hi, Lynette. Is asking. A Hadiba bird just walked in the house and nipped me on my big toe. What is the message? What is the message? Or what is the message? Yeah. Don't sit around. You need to get out and move. There's some places you need to go. Yes. Get your feet moving. Get moving. Don't sit around today. Get out. Get moving. Take flight. Yeah. Get moving. Get moving. Get moving. Don't sit around. Right? Don't sit around. Get moving. Yes. It's funny how they do that, eh? How your guides can influence other creatures to interact with you like that. Yeah. You've got two guardian angels that put a lot of time and energy in getting that bird to do that for you. Get you up and get you moving. Get out. Get things moving. Thank you. Any message for me today about pain in? Oh, sorry guys. Sorry about the fingerprint there, palm print. About the pain in my right thumb. I need my hand for my job. Again, as much as you need this your thumb for your job, there's a party that really doesn't like doing that job. And it's trying to talk to you. Your body's trying to tell you it doesn't want to do that job anymore. But in terms of change, you need to open up, be open to receiving a new opportunity. Just make a decision right now. Right now, just make a decision. I'm open to receiving a new opportunity. Just make that decision and watch what happens in your thumb when you make that decision. I'm open. Like close your eyes, make that statement. I'm open to receiving a new opportunity. And watch what happens in your thumb. And again, there's a lot more information in this for those of you that we're answering questions for. If I recommend you book a reading with me because there's so much more information and detail about your life and specific things you may need to do that may not get covered here. And you go to my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and book a reading there. Thank you so much. Sorry, just going over here. Healing up and down these fast last few days. How do I stay in those days where I'm feeling peace and love? Hi, Amanda. That's part of the process, Amanda. when you start shifting your energy from fear to love, you start shifting from an old way of being to a new way of being, there's like this wobbly process of going back and forth. And that's a normal, natural, healthy thing where you're shifting the dynamic of your life from one pathway to another pathway. When you do feel those moments of uncertainty, like really feel that uncertainty, like really feel it and just comfort your uncertainty. Let that part that's feeling uncertain, everything is going to be okay. Even if you don't know how it's going to be okay, just communicate that part. Everything's going to be okay. Even if I don't know how it's going to be okay, it's going to be okay. And I promise you, yeah, you got an intervention about to happen. Yes, you've got an intervention that's about to happen. I don't know who it's involving or what it's involving, but it's about to happen. Get ready for it. Thank you so much. Huey Davies, I have an addiction. It seems to raise my vibration, but I know that it's temporary and I don't like dependence. I go through hell whenever I attempt to let it go, but I cannot, he says. Again, it's not that you can't let it go. You're afraid to go through the fire. And I know addiction very well from my own personal experience. There's a point in the process where you literally have to be your best friend to all those emotions, because once you stop that substance, it's going to feel like you have nothing. You're going to feel like nothing. And you're going to have to realize you aren't nothing. You have to communicate the body and mind that you're going to take care of it. But I promise you, you go through that process, you go through it deliberately and intentionally, knowing there is another side to it. I have a beautiful friend named Victoria, who was deeply struggling with alcohol for most of her life, from like age 15 to like age 30. And she came out of that place. She went through the fire of surrendering it. Now she's getting married and wonderful things happening to that soul. But being willing to go through that process of the old self being shit off, because that's what you're going to do. You're going to have to go through that process. It might take a day, might take a week, might take a month. But you can also, book a couple of readings with me and get some guidance on that and some direction that will really, again, your guides and your angels are trying to help you. And that's what's happening. You artificially connect to them when you take that stuff, but stop it. Like literally stop. You're going to go through about 3 or 4 weeks. No, they're telling me it's going to be more like 4 or 5 weeks for you. You're going to go through 4 or 5 weeks of what we call the emptiness. Literally, it's a place where you feel like nothing matters. But on the other side of that, you're crossing a desert, and every master goes through this process. They call it the desert. And yes, Huey, you need to go through that desert because there's information, knowledge, and wisdom that will become available to you once you get on the other side of the addiction, right? But there's nothing wrong with you at all. There's just a process of your body's being chemically trained into that substance, and it gives you a sensation artificially of connecting those realms. And for some of you that do that, it does temporarily connect you those realms. But you want a permanent connection that's conscious. So go on the journey and stay connected to us here. Share your journey with us and let us know. But I know that I'm being told to tell you very clearly, you need to cross the desert. You need to go across that. You need to go across it right now.
Counseling.
Yeah. Yeah, I do counseling as well too. Can you ask him if the footprints on my wall were from him? The answer is yes, Lisa. You knew that. You knew that. I know you're just looking for confirmation, darling, but you knew that. He says you knew. You knew. They're saying I knew. I know you know. I know you know. I know you know. Don't deny what you know, right? Um, once you acknowledge that you knew, the moment you knew it, you'll start to feel this presence around you more. Literally, you'll start to experience their presence more and more and more because you're now acknowledging this non-physical realm actually exists, and it does. It's all around us, right? I have a very bad back. Any healing help from my angels, please? Absolutely. Take a deep breath right now. Take a deep breath and relax. I'm calling in Archangel Raphael and Ascended Master Jesus. I'm calling them in right now with our energy. And I want you to breathe and relax your body and place your attention on the back. And I want you to speak these words. They're telling me to tell you to speak these words out loud to your back. There is nothing bad about you at all. I was mistaken. Speak those words to your back. There's nothing wrong with you at all. I was mistaken. And I'm willing to give you the love that you need. Communicate that to your back right now. I'm willing to give you the love that I need. Give that thought to it. Let yourself feel how the back responds. Even if I don't understand what that love is, I will give it to you. Communicate that to your back. Even if I don't understand how to love you, I will give it to you anyway. Breathe slowly and deeply and just receive the energies. Breathe slowly and deeply and receive these energies. And again, communicate that thought to your back. There's nothing bad about you all. I was mistaken. Communicate that to your back. There's nothing bad about you at all. I was mistaken. And then please share and describe with us what your experience of that healing process was. Thank you so much. Wendy Napolitano was asking, was it my dad that I heard say Wendy to me this morning? Is there a message for me? Yeah, he's saying to me to tell you, yes, first of all, it was his voice that you heard, but it's not the same, quite the same as the physical voice you remember, because he's not in that dimensional body anymore. So the voice will be somewhat different for some people. He wants you to pay attention to the choice you're about to make, right? He wants you to remember the tone in which he spoke your name. Remember the tone in which he spoke your name to you, so that you can feel the urgency of his guidance. But this is to do with the choice you're about to make. Yes. He says you're going to make the right choice. He says you're going to make the right choice. Yes, I'm certain of that. Someone saying, hello, I'm confused. I don't know where to find a job. Be open to letting the job find you. Make that decision. I'm open to letting a job find me. I'm open to allowing that. Make that decision. I'm open to allowing it. Yes. Yes, I keep getting the energy of dragons coming in right now. It's really strange for that. Oh, you're very welcome, Huey. I'm healing. I'm feeling lost. Is anyone coming through that has guidance for me? Do you know who comes through? I'm not getting anything actually for that at the moment. But it's really quiet. That's very unusual. But I'm being told to tell you that you are not alone. That your eye is about to open. You are not alone, and your eye is about to open. You're not alone, and your eye is about to open. That I'm being told to tell you. Yes. And the eye, I think they're referring to your inner eye, your inner sight. Yes, I understand that. Oh, you're welcome, Wendy. You're very welcome. Just scroll and see if I missed any questions here. Someone's asking, did my oldest son ever get to see his baby before transitioning? Well, that's a very interesting paradox. You said that, but he's saying to me right now, I am that child now. I am that child. I am that child. That's how he got out of where he was into what he needs to be in. I am that child now. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you so much. Got time for one more question, then we'll see you guys on Wednesday. Let's see here. Hi, Tiff. Is it time for me to find a new job? I'm feeling tired and used at the moment. Well, you already know the answer to that. You've just answered it. It is time for you to find a new job. Be open to it. be, oh, there's so much that life wants to give everyone, but most people aren't open to it. Open to it. That's what the tiredness is. It's you have to release the feeling of tiredness and say, I'm open to receiving the new opportunity. You need to come to that place of awareness that I'm open and receptive to receiving this new opportunity. And as you could hear, the universe was saying that was the last question of the day. I want to say thank you to Archangel Michael and the other beings present with us. I want to say thank you to all of you guys for coming out and supporting this channel. Remember to give the video a thumbs up, a like, a subscribe, a share. Sharing this information, liking it really helps make it work. For those of you on TikTok, if you want to ask more questions, you can go to the Linktree link in my bio on my TikTok channel and use the Linktree link to ask single questions or book a reading, etc. through that modality. I want to say thank you, everybody. Have yourselves a wonderful and a joyful day, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Much love, everybody. Bye for now.